Okay, so 12.4, addition and complement rules. Get that in there. So we start off talking about mutually exclusive events. These are events that cannot occur at the same time, or in other words, events that do not have anything in common. So what I mean by that, in other words, like if we're talking about flipping a coin and rolling a die, flipping a coin has nothing to do with rolling a die. They don't have any events in common, so they will be considered mutually exclusive.
Sir, I can't hear you.
Right now,
I saw your lips moving. I thought, okay, my bad.
no, you ain't want none of the smoke. I was yelling at my kids. Y'all good?
Oh, so you muted us so you can yell.
Yeah, they making too much noise upstairs, so they ain't had nothing to do with y'all. See, you can pull my card.
Okay.
Yeah, man. Somebody said something in the chat. Yeah, man. Can't be yelling on the recording. So, excuse me. So the probability of mutually exclusive events and how we'll calculate that. Yes, sir. Um, yeah, I really want to do what I want to do. I have to get off I have to get on camera, but that's a whole nother story. So, probability of mutually exclusive events um, is going to be taking the probability of A and add it to the probability of B. So you find the probability of one, find the probability of the other one, and add them together. So when we have events that do not have anything in common as far as their outcomes are concerned, all you do is add the probabilities together. All right, so before we get into doing that, we're going to look at standard 52 card deck. Have to establish house rules. So the standard 52 card deck means no jokers. We got 4 suits, clubs, spades, hearts, and diamonds. Just want to make sure everybody's on the same page, just in case you don't mess with cards really like that. You have 2 black suits, clubs, and spades. Let's see, could have been written better. 2 red suits, hearts and diamonds. 13 cards each suit, 10 regular cards, and 3 face cards. Your 3 face cards will be king, queen, and jacks. And then your regular cards, your 10 regular cards will be the ace, and then the numbers 2 through 10. So your ace is not a face. Give you guys a chance to write that. All right. So suppose a single card is drawn from a standard deck of playing cards. Find the probability of drawing a 5 or a king. Give you a chance to write that before we go into it. All right, so the first thing we're asking ourselves, are these events mutually exclusive? The answer is yes, they are, because they have no cards in common. There's no such thing as a 5 of kings, no such thing as a king of fives. You have your fives, and then you have your kings. Those are 2 separate type of cards. They have no cards in common, so they are mutually exclusive events. So looking at left side over here, if your events draw a 5, our sample space, 52 cards, that's the number of total cards we had to choose from, 52. There are four cards with the number 5 on them. And then, so we place that 4 over 52 to get the probability of getting a 5 out of the 52 card deck. I haven't reduced this. I won't reduce this to the end. That'll be the easiest thing for you to do. After you finish doing your calculation, then reduce. So I will leave it as 4 over 52 right now. Then drawing a king. Same thing, always start off with your sample space. You know that we have 52 cards in the deck. There are 4 kings. So the probability of getting this king is 4 out of 52. Any questions on those two? All right, so to find the probability of getting a 5 or a king, take the probability of both of those, add them together. So that's why we have 4 over 52 plus 4 over 52 gives us 8 over 52. And then you can reduce that down to 2 over 13. All right, any questions? Make sure we're all right. All right, I scroll up. All right, so the next rule, very similar to what we just finished doing, is just that before we were looking at mutually exclusive events. If our events are not mutually exclusive, in other words, they have something in common, we have to consider this piece right here. So when we look at the probability of A or B, we're going to add the probability of A plus the probability of B, but then we have to subtract what they have in common. So if the events do have something in common, we have to subtract the probability of what they have in common. You'll see why that has to occur in a second when we get into this next example. But if they are not mutually exclusive, in other words, they have something in common, this part of the formula has to be implemented. All right, so a single die is rolled. It says find the probability of rolling an even number or a number greater than 2. All right. So let's look at the first event, an even number. So don't forget our sample space is 1 through 6. So that's why I have the number of my sample space 6, because we have 6 possible outcomes when you talk about rolling a die. Now, if you're talking about even number, that's going to be 2, 4, and 6. So 3 numbers are even. So that's why we have the probability of 3 over 6. All right, everybody okay with the first event? 3 even numbers, 6 numbers to choose from, so that's 3 out of 6. chance of getting an even number. Once again, I will reduce this at the end. So I'm not looking at reducing after I do all my adding and subtracting, then I look at reducing my fraction. All right, my second event is a number greater than 2. So when we look at our sample space, once again, it's 6 numbers. Out of 1 through 6, we have 4 numbers that are greater than 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. So that's where this 4 comes from, and that's why we have a 4 out of 6 chance of getting a number greater than 2.
I have a question.
Yep.
The n parentheses, like with the 5 in the parentheses, where did you get the 5 from?
Let me see. You talking about this right here?
Yeah.
That's actually an S.
Oh, okay. Cool.
My bad. Yeah, that's a S for sample space. Yep. So that S is supposed to represent the total possible number of outcomes. Yep. All right. Everybody okay with the purple and blue? I'm gonna talk about what's on the right side in a second.
So like the sample part,
Mhm.
because it says equals 6, is that like the 6 like represent like the 6 sides on like the
Yes.
dice? Okay.
Yep. You have 1 through 6 as far as the faces on your die. So since you have 6 sides, like you said, 6 faces, to represent the number of possible outcomes that can happen. All right. Everybody good with the purple and blue? Okay. So over here to the right, these events are not mutually exclusive because they have some outcomes in common. And we see that both of them have 4 and 6 that are in common. In other words, it is possible to be even and greater than 2. That's what we have down here in the orange. We have that, it's possible to be even and greater than 2. If that's possible, that means they are not mutually exclusive. They have outcomes in common. So looking at what numbers are even and greater than 2, that's 4 and 6. 2 numbers fit that description. So that's why we have 2 over 6. So make sure we're good before we go any further. So if your events have something in common, then you do have to explore the probability of what they have in common. Remember in the last example, we didn't have anything in common between the 5 and the king, so it was nothing to explore. But if they do have something in common, you do have to consider it. All right, so the reason being is because when you go back to our probabilities of purple and blue, notice that 4 and 6 are counted in both cases. All right, so if I were to add those probabilities together, that means I'm actually counting 4 and 6 twice, and you don't want to do that. So when you go down to your actual formula, that's why you subtract the probability of even and greater than 2, because you don't want to count the numbers 4 and 6 twice. And so that's why you add 3, 6 plus 4, 6, but then minus 2, 6. And that'll give you 5, 6. Ooh. Questions? Any questions? Make sure we're all right. All right. Let me scroll up. Everybody good? All right. So in the table is under this. The data shows the results of an experiment conducted to test the effectiveness of a flu vaccine If one person is selected from this population, what is the probability that the person was vaccinated or contracted the flu? So I'll give you a chance to write that, and I'll scroll up. As a matter of fact, let me see. All right, so there goes the chart. So V represents vaccinated. F represented contracted the flu. That's down there as well, but I'll give you a chance to write that, the wording. All right, so there we have it. So this 21 represent those who were vaccinated and still contracted the flu. 198, those who were vaccinated did not contract the flu. 219, just everybody who was vaccinated. 76, no vaccination, but contracted the flu. No vaccination and no contraction of the flu. 271 is just all those who were not vaccinated. This 490 is just the total number of people, period. 393, no contraction of the flu, and then 97 people actually contracted the flu. So that's how you would read that chart. All right, so as with all probabilities or establishment of probabilities, trying to calculate probabilities, you always want to find your sample space, the total number of possible outcomes. And in this case, it is 490. Know that was the total number of people. Alluded to that a little bit a few seconds ago. So that's our sample space. So now, when we look at the probability of being vaccinated or contracting the flu, remember that's what they wanted. It's right here, vaccination or contracting the flu. So that's D or F. We'll follow the formula. Probability of vaccination plus the probability of contracting the flu minus probability of vaccination and the flu. So those who contracted, those who were vaccinated is right here, 219. Those who contracted the flu, it's 97. Total number of people contracted the flu, total number of people that were vaccinated. And then you're looking at total number of people that was vaccinated and contracted the flu. It's 21. So we place all three of those numbers over the 490. Remember, that's our sample space. And from there, we do the math. 219 plus 97 minus 21. It's 295 over that 490, or 0.602. So just making sure you pay attention to WebAssign and how they want you to give that final answer. They wanted a decimal. Just make sure you pay attention to the rounding of the decimal.
Excuse me?
Yep.
I was walking back to my dorm, so I missed a whole lot of lecture. I missed the whole lecture a little bit because I think we almost done. But is this 13.1?
12.4.
Oh, 12.4? Okay.
Mm-hmm.
And then after that, we have to take our pre-test and our exam, right?
Yes, for 12.
Okay, just for 12 though?
Yeah, 12 will be by itself, and then 13 will be its own test.
Okay. Can I talk to you after class? Because I have some questions about the other lecture notes before 12 and
Okay.
the exam.
Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
All right. Everybody good before I scroll up? So next thing that we deal with is the complement of an event. So the complement is really going to be the opposite of the event that you're referring to. So it will be all elements in this sample space that are not in the event. The way we will represent the complement of event E is by E with the superscript C up, like an exponent. So that would be the notation for the complement of event E. So here we have a mini example. If my sample space is 1 through 6, and my event is 1, 2, 3, the complement is going to be 4, 5, 6. So once again, your complement will be everything in the sample space that your event is not. All right, the way we can calculate the complement, the probability of the complement. If you want to calculate the complement and you already have the probability of your event, you can subtract it from 1. So it's 1 minus the probability will give you the probability of its complement. Or if you want to find the probability and you have the complement, you can subtract that from 1, which basically boils down to the idea that both of your probabilities, the probability of your event plus the probability of your complement, will add together to give you 1. So those are the relationships between the probability of an event and the probability of the complement of the event. So if you have 1, then you can find the other by subtracting it from 1. All right. So the probability of a sum of 11 on the toss of a coin, I said toss of a coin, on the toss of 2 dice is 1/18, or 1 out of 18. What is the probability of not tossing the sum of 11 on the toss of 2 dice? So to give us the probability of tossing a sum of 11 on the toss of 2 dice, which is 1 out of 18, then he wants to find the probability of not tossing the sum of 11. So that leans on the fact that 1 minus the probability of your event is the complement or the opposite. So that's 1 minus 1 over 18. Don't forget your fraction rules. If you're trying to subtract numbers or subtract fractions, you have to have common denominator. 1 would turn into that number, that denominator over itself. So that's why it turns into 18 over 18. And 18 minus 1, is 17 over 18. So that would be the probability of not tossing the sum of 11. All right. Go with that first one. All right. Next one, the probability that a person has type A blood is 34%. What is the probability that a person does not have type A blood? So same situation, just that we're dealing with percentage, dealing with decimal instead of fraction. We have the probability of an event, which is having type A blood. We want to know the probability of not having type A blood or the opposite of the event. So you convert that percentage, that 34%, to a decimal, and then subtract it from 1. And that'll be 0.66 or 66%, depending on, once again, how WeatherSign wants you to give that answer. Any questions? All right, so this one has a little more detail to it. Let's see if we can make it happen. So it says a die is tossed 4 times. What is the probability that a 6 will show up at least once? So just like I mentioned before, when it comes to creating your probability, the first thing you want to do is establish your sample space. What is the total number of possible outcomes? So that's what we're doing right here. So I got 6 boxes, which represent, I said 6 boxes, 4 boxes, which represent each time I toss the die. You toss the die 4 times. So the probability that a 6 will show up at least once, well, we're not worried about that part yet. We're just talking about in general, how many different combinations would be created by tossing the die 4 times. So you already mentioned that a die has 6 faces. So for each one, you have 6 possible outcomes. And remember, our fundamental counting principle is to multiply those together. So we got 6 times 6 times 6 times 6, which will give us 1296. That's the total number of possible outcomes. That's our bottom number in our fraction. All right. So we want to know the probability of at least one of those tosses will show up 6. So the complement of that is that none of them will turn up as 6. So sometimes when finding the probability, it's easier to find a complement than it is to actually find the probability. Then we can subtract that from 1. So if we look to find a complement, if you're talking about none of them being 6, that means that we're looking at 1 through 5. And so that's why right here, I have 5 in each one of my boxes. So like it says right here in the red, 5 numbers that are not 6.
Excuse me?
Yep.
I was wondering, how did you get 7?
7. Where you see 7 at?
It says 1, 2,
Right here?
7, 4.
Yep,
Or is
that's
that
a
a
3.
3?
Yep, that's a lazy 3.
Oh,
Uh,
oh, okay.
thanks for calling me out with my bad handwriting. I appreciate it.
So the answer is for this is EC equal no 6? Or
No, no,
is
no,
it the
no.
bottom?
Well, we were trying to find a probability of getting at least 1 6. That's what they want us to find right here. So
Okay.
to find the probability that at least 1 6 will be in our box, you're talking about rolling the die 4 times and at least one of them being 6. 1 out of those 4 times, a 6 will pop up. So instead of looking at or trying to find out this, we're going to look at the complement, which is trying to find out the probability of having no sixes. Because if I can find this one out, I can subtract it from 1 and then get my answer. Just like we did here with the complement. If we have the complement, then we can subtract it from 1 and get the other one. So that's what they're saying. Like when the book presented this one, they said the easiest way to figure out this probability is to find the complement first, which is no sixes, and then subtract that from 1. So that's what we're doing here. Does somebody about to say something?
Oh. I'm still figuring out how to get the answers for 625 and 1,296. I'm still trying to find that out.
Well, we multiply. Now, right here, we multiplied 6 times 6 times 6 times 6 and got 1296. So that's our bottom number. That's our total number of possible outcomes. Because there's 6 faces on the die. Mm-hmm.
Okay, then how did you get 625?
Okay, so down here, we're looking at, okay, let's look at this die, this die as if 6 was not an option. So if 6 is not an option, because remember we said we want to find find the probability of getting no sixes. So if 6 is not an option, then we only have 1 through 5. And that's what these are, 1 through 5 in each case. And so 5 times 5 times 5 times 5 is 625.
Oh, I was counting. I was doing it differently.
Okay. Okay, cool. So we good now? Everybody straight? Everybody straight. So, and like I said before, some of this stuff, other questions may pop up once you actually do these assignments. So if you don't have any questions now, I understand. Once you get into the homework, you may get a question, may not. Maybe you just be all the way good. So we take this 625, place it over this 1296, and that's the probability of getting no sixes at all. No sixes at all. And remember, we wanted at least 1 6, so we're going to take this 625 over 1296, subtract it from 1. And just like before with the 18, that 1 turns into that denominator over itself, so that's 1296 over 1296. 1296 minus 625 is going to be 671 over that 1296. And once again, whoever sign let you know if they want the fraction or the decimal as an answer. Questions. All right. I think that's the last one as far as the examples. Okay. So, questions on anything I've said today on 12.4 before I know one of your classmates had a question about something else. Everybody good, everybody straight. So, as before, try this stuff out, see if you get stuck. Next class, I will not cover anything new. It will be your review day, so it'll be up to you. If you want to take advantage of that, you can bring. All right. So I said, any help with graphing? Okay, I'll make sure you're straight before we leave. Bring whatever questions you have on next class, on anything. It doesn't necessarily have to be in just chapter 12. But if you have questions on anything, you can bring them next class. I will not be covering any new material. Just be reviewing and talking about how we're going to operate moving forward. Questions, concerns, or comments before I look at individual questions, any general concerns, questions? Everybody good, straight? All right. So if you're done, then I'll see you on next class. Be safe. But if you want to stick around and see what questions someone else had, feel free to do so. And you guys take care. Have a good one. All right. So this is Regine, right? Am I saying that right?
Yes.
All right. So you said you had a question on something?
I have questions on 11.1, number 3 and 5, because I didn't still take the exam yet from last week because I'm still doing the lecture notes. So I still need more time for the exam, for the actual exam. I already did the pre-test yesterday, but I have some questions on 11.1, number 3 and 5, 11.2, just 4,
Okay.
and the pre-test question.
So what are they asking?
Let me go to it.
Okay.
Can I share my screen?
As a matter of
But I
fact,
don't have it written down.
see, you know what? You just being a problem. No, I just messing. What he said which one the first one you want to look at?
11.1, 3 and 5.
3 and 5. Okay. I'll share mine.
Let me get mine up too.
Okay, so mine says.
My computer's slow.
Say it again.
My computer's slow.
Okay, all right.
So I'm trying to get as quick as I can.
Gotcha. So mine says right here, number 3. You deposit $18.75 in the account, earning 10.4% interest. Calculate simple interest earned in 8 months. So was there a particular question that you had about that?
Oh, yes. I'm getting to it. It's just very slow. I'm almost there.
All right.
It says what I did here is that I did I equals PRT.
Yes.
And then I did I did 16,000 parentheses 10 point, wait, I have to do like the 1 2 3 for the 10.5, so it will be 0.105, and then T is 6 months. I still got it wrong that way.
Hold on, you said 6 months,
6
right?
months divided by 12. Yeah, 6
over
months
12.
divided by 12. And I still got it wrong though.
Okay, let me see. So what did you end up getting? You said 16,000. Now is it 16,000 or 16,000?
Oh, you got it right. You got it right.
So 16,000 or 1,600?
Yes.
Okay, 16,000. All right. So
16,000
times 0.105 times 0.5. So you got 840?
Yes. And it still said it was wrong.
All right, let me go back to the one that I have.
And that's pretty odd to me. Or maybe I'll just show you the question.
1875. Let me see if this one count mine wrong by doing it the same way. Times 8,
okay.
20. All right, so mine was right doing it that way. Are you sure it's not 1,600 right here? 2 zeros instead of 3 zeros?
Oh, it is 2 0.
Okay, all right, there it is.
My bad.
No, you good.
I wrote it wrong. So let me see. Let me put in my calculator and stuff. Let me see how it looks like now.
Yeah, it should be.
Or 11 point. It just still doesn't.
Did you get 84?
Here, let me see. 3, 4. Should work this time. Oh, I got it. Oh, it was because I put another 0 on it. That's probably why.
Yeah, that'll do it to you.
That's probably why I got it wrong.
Yep.
And then the next one I have is 5
Yeah, calculate
for
maturity value.
11.1.
So, says
And what
calculate
I did for
maturity
this
value.
one, right.
No, I'm
What
listening.
I did for this one was that I did 8,000, because there's 3 zeros this time, so 8,000 parentheses 0.036. So, and then parentheses, and I put another parentheses, and it was 2 divided by 12.
All right. So,
And
so you had a 2-month loan?
yes.
Okay, just want to make sure. And so, what did you end up getting for that answer?
I end up getting, I don't have my calculator, shoot. Because I then wrote it down, but then I threw away my papers. It's all out. It's in my papers, and it's all messed up.
Yeah, it's not a problem. So I ended up getting 48.
48?
So now, though, but it didn't ask you for the interest, though. It asked for the maturity value. So you have to take your principal and add your interest to it. So you're going to take that 8,000 and add the 48.
Oh.
So in other words, they want to know how much money will be in your account after however many, 2 months in this case.
So every time when it asks me for my maturity, I have to do it that way?
Yep. Want to know the future value.
Okay. No wonder I was kept on getting it wrong.
So you either can do it that way.
Stop there.
Yeah, or you can do it, this is another formula for it. Either way, it's fine. You'll get the same thing. You can find the interest and then add it to the principal. Or if you just do it like this, you still will get, the maturity value.
Oh, so I have to keep going with it.
Well, it's either one or the other. Both of these either do this way or this way. Either or, you will get this answer right here. I was just showing you the other formula for it.
Okay. So, but would you prefer the first one that you did, the easier way, just to do that?
If you know how to do formulas, this one would actually be the easier way, because all you're doing is you would do 8,000, 1 plus that 0.036 times 2/12, and you would put it in. You can put it in the calculator like that if you have that type of capability, and it would just give you 8,048. Yep.
Okay.
But it's really about the person and which one is it. Whatever flow you in will dictate what's easiest for you. So.
Okay. Let me see if it's right now, because sometimes it don't be right.
Yep,
but
good.
It probably is right.
So while you checking that, I know you had another one, but I know Miss Lyons. Yeah.
It's 11.2, question 4.
Okay. So because since I tagged 2 of yours, you said it's right?
Yes, right. Okay, I guess you're right.
Don't sound so surprised. But okay. So let me hit Miss Lyons' question first. I got 2 of yours. Let me get hers, and then I'll double back to you. So.
Okay.
I'm here. I was just wondering if you could show me what to push. So like when I graph my numbers, so I've been trying to graph it, and then when I like stretch it out, it's not sticking, and like I got stuck on it, and I'm like, okay, it's gonna take forever.
Right. Do you know which problem?
Yes. Let me. I'm sorry. I would have been prepared.
No, you good.
It doesn't matter which one you do. I just skipped them after I've spent like an hour trying to graph. I just said, I'll come back.
Got you. So now, when you're trying to graph a line, let me go here. So you have to be careful. If you notice the difference between number 2, and number 3. Number 2 says draw a line.
Okay.
Number 3 says graph the ordered pairs solution. So in number 3, you're not graphing a line. You just put some dots up there. Why is this not? Okay, hold on 1 second. Let me clear this out.
Oh, okay.
Let me do this. All right. Clear all. Anyway, you're supposed to be able to do it. My stuff acting funky. Let me see. Try it one more time. Why is this thing not doing it? Anyway, you're supposed to be able to just hit this dot, and it might be my touch screen. I actually need me a new one. Let me do this real quick. Hold on 1 second.
Okay.
That was 10-1. Oh, somebody got a dog.
That's right. Hold on. I'm getting help right now.
All right, so okay, so mine is not working now. Let's see if this will work.
That was my frustration. I gave up.
All right, fill, remove. Let's see if that's working. Nope. I wonder why this thing not working now. All right, let me try one more thing. I might need to call her up. See, for some reason, I mean, it was working last week.
So it could be the program?
Yeah, maybe. I don't understand why it's not doing this thing like that. Draw a line through all the points, current at 5, so. That is weird. Let me try one more thing.
Okay.
It ain't really supposed to be that difficult. Hold on. Do I have pop-up blockers? That should matter though. Yeah, that should matter. Let me contact the rep and see why this is not working. Because it's supposed to be just as simple as clicking on, and it had been working with no problems. And for some reason now,
What's not working?
graphing. At least it's not on mine right now anyway. Hold on, let me see.
How do you guys put the points on them?
Yeah, so hold on, let me
And then after when you're done with that, click on the line with the arrows on it, and then you sharing the screen.
yeah.
So what's her points that she has to put down?
Well, right now mine's not even clicking. Oh, there we go. Okay, there we go. Maybe my other thing. All right, so maybe it was my pen. All right, so let's do this. So here, all they wanted points.
Oh yeah, I know.
So
Wait, no.
You good, Miss Regine? You saying something?
Yeah, I'm good.
Okay. So, Ms. Lyons, all they want is points in this one. So if you actually were to create this, let's say if you would do the parabola,
Mm-hmm.
you would actually get it wrong because they don't want the parabola. They just want the points that would be in the shape of the
Oh,
parabola. So yeah, so that's what they would want you to do there. So if you're talking about what -2 squared, let's go here. -2 squared would be 4, -1, then we have 0, and 2, 4. So that's all they want there for that one.
okay. So maybe I was, I was trying to graph it when it didn't need to be graphed.
And then these ones right here where it says draw a line, you would hit this line right here, and
And then
then,
write it out, right?
yeah, all right. Do this clear all. All right. So that's how it would be. So now I know sometimes it acts a little funky. And so I hit no solution and then I clear all. And then
Start up.
that lets me to put points.
Okay, well, thank you for being my rubber duck.
Say it again.
I said, well, thank you for being my rubber duck.
Oh, yeah. No problem.
I'll see you Thursday.
All right. Take care.
All right, you too.
All right. So Miss Regine, you said you had something on 11.1, was it?
11.2.
Oh, 11.2.
Yeah, 11.2, question 4. And then I'm well done with those lecture notes, and I already did my pretest, but I still have some questions about the pretest. Then we'll go ahead and do the exam and get started on 12.1 all the way to 12.4.
Sound like you're excited about it.
I have a lot to do.
I'll see you Thursday, Professor.
All right, you take care, sir. Hey, didn't you want to meet with me?
Oh no. That was from that email was from like last month, I think.
Okay, well, no, it must have been another Jones.
Oh.
Say that again, Miss Regine.
I'm sorry, I was like, what's up, Jordan?
Oh. Yeah, it must have been somebody else, another Jones I'm thinking about, but I sent them a Zoom link and then they never responded. So it might have been somebody else though. All right, sir, you have a good one.
All right, you too.
Yep. All right. So you said number 4, how much interest is earned in 6 years? $8,100 deposit in account, paying 8% interest, compounded semi-annually.
Right.
All right. So
what I did here is what I did 8,400, and then I did parentheses 0.09 parentheses, and then I did 8, and then that's it. Parentheses.
Now this one in 11.2, you're gonna use the compound interest formula. It's a different formula.
Oh, shoot. I messed up then.
Yeah. Let me go ahead and get it.
Because I know how to do those, like the first parts of them, like P equals I, or like, no, I equals PRT. I know how to do that, but I don't know how to do this. Very confusing.
So that's the formula right there.
Okay.
So let me make sure I got my letters. I think I got my letters straight. I should be good. 1 over RN, 1 plus RN. Yep, NT. So all the letters represent the same thing. It's just that this is the formula for compound interest. So for P, what's your P?
So P is 8,400.
8,400.
And then that's just a 1 plus.
Your rate?
My R is 0.09, correct?
And
then what's my N? Is it 12?
Mine says semi-annually. So it says compounded how many times per year?
Oh, 2.
Well, yeah, so yours says semi-annually? No, yeah, I didn't know what word to use because it could say semi-annually, it could say annually.
Oh, yeah, semi-annually, yeah.
Semi-annually.
Semi-annually.
Right, so N would be 2 for you, right?
Oh,
and
okay.
Then that means N is 2. And then what is your T?
It's 8 years.
8 years, so that'll just be
2
8.
times 8. Oh, and then so I put this O in the calculator?
Yeah.
Oh. Okay. I did not know that. So So let me get this straight. So when it says compounded semi-annually and like how many interest, I have to do this type of form.
Mm-hmm. Now, keep in
Because sometimes
mind,
I get them confused.
say the last part again.
Sometimes I get them confused.
Mm-hmm. So
Like
yes, so
I mess
this
up
one,
on.
this is your maturity value, A. So now it asks for the interest earned. So don't forget to calculate your interest earned. You always have to do A minus P. You know, if you
Okay.
have, in other words, if you had $500 and then after a certain amount of time you had $600, in order to figure out how much interest you earned, you have to do 600 minus 5. You know how much you earned, the actual amount in your account minus the amount you started off with. So this is going to give you the amount of money you in your account after 8 years. So
Oh.
whatever that is, you minus 8,400 because that's what you originally had, and then that will give you how much you actually earned over those 8 years. So whatever number you get from the calculator, you put right there.
It still said it's wrong.
Well, what was the number you got for A?
Oh, I'm supposed to do A and
Yeah,
P together, subtract it.
yeah, that's what I'm
Oh, I'm not
saying.
done yet.
Right,
Oh,
right, right. Now, if it asks you
oh,
for your maturity value, then all you would do is type in the value you get from the calculator. But it asks you for the interest earned.
okay.
So,
Okay.
this formula gives you the maturity value, how much money will be in your account after 8 years. Then, if you want to know how much interest you earned, though, you have to subtract this 8,400 from it. Because remember, you started off with 8,400. After 8 years, you're going to have more money in the account. So you want to know how much the interest you earn, you subtract 8,400 from this value you get from the
Okay.
calculator.
That's probably why I didn't get. That's probably why I didn't get it right. Huh. That's funny. I got this huge number. I don't want to say it because I know I'm gonna mess up on it. But after that, for the A, I got 140,448, and then I
So
subtracted
hold on, you
by
said 1,404.
8,404.48. I know I'm gonna butcher that, so I'm not even gonna say nothing. But and then I subtracted by 8,400, and I still got it wrong.
Yeah, I don't think that's the right number right here. Did you
Yeah,
put
I
it
don't
in the
think it is. I
calculator?
think I did something.
You put it in the calculator just like that with those parentheses, or
Yeah, I put it in just like that,
hmm? Let me see my calculator right
and
now.
I still got it wrong. Like that's so crazy.
Let me see if
Maybe
I
maybe it's my calculator. Maybe it's because it's old school calculator, and
have.
it's just
Let me see. Let me see if I can do it on this one. 8,400.
because I'm putting it in
Nah, I
correctly.
can't do it on this, so I'll do it this way.
220 days.
09, what about 2? All right, so this calculator, I have to do everything in pieces.
So what I got for A differently is now 73384.08. That's what I got now.
73384.
0.08. And then I
Hmm.
subtract that. I think
That's,
that's right.
let me see.
That should be right. I hope so.
Let me see. 1.44. Hold on, where's my stuff at? There we go.
It's
16
still wrong.
times 8,400.
And I wrote in pen. That's the sad part.
Okay.
I wrote in pen.
That number seems large too, but let me try it one more time. So got 0.045 plus 1 raised to the 16th power times 8,400. All right, that looks better. 16987.91. All right, try one more time just to make sure I got my number straight. 1.4041 raised to the
And you
16th
subtracted
power.
that right by 8.
Well, this is my A. times 8,400.
Okay.
Yeah, that's A right there for me. And now to find
That's right.
I believe it's right. I'm hoping. we'll see.
I'm hoping too, because the other ones were. Huh. Let me see. 8400. Man, it looked like it, right?
So this should be the answer right here.
How did you get that? Because I keep getting two different numbers.
Okay. Did they say it's
Let me
right?
see. Let me see.
Yeah, because it don't matter if it's wrong. So.
It's right. It's
Okay.
right.
All right.
So
So
how did you
this.
get that?
All right. So what I did first was when we look at what we have here, we have to do it in steps. If you don't have the type of calculator that will allow you to put it in order, I mean not put it in order, but put it in just like this. Make sure I got all the
Okay.
numbers right. 0.092. Yeah. So the best case scenario is you had a calculator that you can just put it in with the parentheses and everything like that. But if you don't have that, then you have to do everything in pieces. So you can go ahead and multiply this and multiply that. So that means I have 8,400, 1 plus 0.045, and that's raised to the 16th power. Then you can go ahead and add these together.
Okay.
Which would be 8,400, 1.045, raised to the 16th power.
And then you put it all together?
Well, I would go ahead and raise that to the 16th power.
Okay.
You know, that like I said, it depends on the type of calculator you have.
Yeah, it does, because I was getting all different types of numbers.
Yeah, 1.405 raised to the 16th power. So I got 2.022370. And this will run on decimal. So the more decimal places you give, the more accurate your answer will be. Then multiply that times 8,400. And you get 16,987,9093.
Ooh, that's a huge number.
Well, the decimal was right there. I put a comma by mistake.
So after that, can we round it?
Well, you were rounded by cents, to the hundreds.
Okay.
Because your money wouldn't go no further than 2 decimal places.
That's a lot.
Yeah, so I wouldn't round to the very, very end though. The last thing you do is let it, round your cents.
And then after that, you subtract it by 8,400.
Right. That's because they ask for the interest earned. So once again, if they ask you for your maturity value, this is A. But then if they want the interest earned, you would do A minus P.
Okay. So maturity, you can just do it normally like that, but if they ask you for how much interest, you do the other way.
Yep, you got to add one more step to it. Do A minus P.
Know how to do this. 7.9. Okay. Right. And now, last but not least, the pretest. That's it. Because I'm going to do the exam from last week. So I just need help with the pretest because I got questions on that and it's very difficult.
All right. So,
well, it shouldn't be what it is.
How many questions you got?
Whew. Okay.
Because I see 5 minutes left.
I didn't mean to do
that. But if we need to set up another time to meet, we can do that. You know what I mean? Because I gotta get.
Because so the thing is, for the pretest, I kept on answering and trying to getting it right for a couple of questions, and then after that, it just said X, red X, because that means I didn't make it. I didn't pass the 2 of the questions, so.
So now you're talking about the test review.
The other questions I have is like 4 questions. Yeah, the test review.
Okay, so you say you have 4 questions?
Not the pretest.
So you
I have 4 questions.
Okay, so you have 4 questions on the pretest or 4 questions from somewhere else?
On the pretest.
Okay, So
because
mhm.
I just want to get a B. I just don't want no C. I don't want no
Right.
70 or no nothing. I just want it's a low B if possible
Right.
on
So
the
let me ask you this: do you have time moving forward, like a day outside this week that we could do those 4 problems?
Yeah, I have time. We
Mhm.
can do a different time. We can do tomorrow. We can do Thursday.
Or I mean, Thursday is going to be open for you to ask whatever you want. We
Or we
could
can
just
do
do it.
any time. Up to you.
Yeah. So do you want to do it next class, or do you not? If you don't want to wait till next class, then we can try to do Wednesday.
We can do it next class.
Okay.
We
Because
could do
that's
it
going to
next
be
class. Just that said that today the everything's due, like the lecture notes. The last exam is due today, right?
no, ain't nothing to do to that.
Oh, when's the due date for like
All
the
right.
pretest,
So this is what we have right
the
here.
chapter 10 through 11?
Yeah,
When
that's
are
not
they
going to
due?
be due until April 4th, probably. That's when I have to get 10th week grades
Oh,
in. Yeah, see everything say 5-7.
I was trying to rush it and everything. I thought it
I,
was due today.
I felt a rush in your voice. I didn't know what I thought. Maybe you just had something that you had going on. Like I got to get it done by this time because I got other stuff to do. I was like,
Oh
okay,
no, because I thought it was due today. I was a little nervous. I'm like, let me get this done quick.
yeah, ain't nothing over here. But 5-7, May 7th. So you good?
Okay, then we can schedule a different time, or we can do it next class, and I'll just work on the lecture notes 12.1 all the way to 12.4, and I'll just get that done.
Okay, that sounds good. And if by some reason, for some reason
Okay.
you can't make it next class and we got to schedule another time outside of that, we can do that. That'd be cool.
Okay. Thank you.
All
Appreciate
right,
it.
not a problem. You have a good one.
Bye.
All right,
You too. Have a blessed day.
all right, do the same. All right, looks like everybody else is good. Straight. All right, everybody take care.
It's not exiting.
Say what?